Hey guys, so yesterday I read chapters 1 through 4 from Wishtree for my afternoon class live, but I was going to do it again today, and I'm going to record it and upload it to YouTube, maybe, if I can figure that out. So, the book that I always read to my 4th grade students at the end of the year is called Wishtree. This is a book that we read The One and Only Ivan at the beginning of the year for our first novel study. And since we're not going to be in school this year in the building, I just wanted to still give you guys the exposure to this book because it deals with a lot of sort of troubles that we see on an everyday basis in our communities, unfortunately. It deals with problems like prejudice and stereotyping, and there's definitely a lot of environmental issues that come up as well. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read the first 4 chapters to you on this particular channel. So, the book again is called Wishtree by Katherine Applegate. Chapter 1. It's hard to talk to trees. We're not big on chit-chat. That's not to say we can't do amazing things. Things you'll probably never do. Cradle downy owlets, steady flimsy tree forts, and photosynthesize. But talk to people? Not so much. And just try to get a tree to tell a good joke. Trees do talk to some folks, the ones we know we can trust. We talk to daredevil squirrels. We talk to hard-working worms. We talk to flashy butterflies and bashful moths. Birds, they're delightful. Frogs, grumpy, but good-hearted. Snakes, terrible gossips. Trees, I never met a tree I didn't like. Well, okay, there's that sycamore down in the corner. Yakety yakety yak. That one? So, do we ever talk to people? Actually talk? That most people-y of people skills? Good question. Trees have a rather complicated relationship with people, after all. One minute you're hugging us, the next minute you're turning us into tables and tongue depressors. Perhaps you're wondering why the fact that trees talk wasn't covered in science class during those Mother Nature is our friend lessons. Don't blame your teachers. They probably don't know that trees can talk. Most people don't. Nonetheless, if you find yourself standing near a particularly friendly-looking tree on a particularly lucky-feeling day, it can't hurt to listen up. Trees can't tell jokes, but we can certainly tell stories. And if all you hear is the whisper of leaves, don't worry. Most trees are introverts at heart. So I like the way she starts that first chapter off. Kind of seems like she's, kind of seems like the narrator is having a conversation with the reader. And the narrator, if you notice, is referring to herself as a tree. Trees have a complicated relationship with people. One minute, you're hugging us. So she's talking to us as though we are hugging her, the tree. All right, chapter 2. My name's Red, by the way. Maybe we've met. Oak tree near the elementary school. Big, but not too big. Sweet shade in the summer, fine color in the fall. I'm proud to say that I'm a northern red oak, also known as Quercus rubra. Red oaks are one of the most common trees in North America. In my neighborhood alone, hundreds upon hundreds of us are weaving our roots into the soil like knitters on a mission. I have ridged reddish reddish-gray bark, leathery leaves with pointed lobes, stubborn, searching roots, and if I do say so myself, the best fall color on the street. Red doesn't begin to do me justice. Come October, I look like I'm ablaze. It's a miracle the fire department doesn't try to hose me down every autumn. You might be surprised to learn that all red oaks are named red. Likewise, all sugar maples are called sugar. All junipers are called juniper, and all boojum trees are called boojum. That's how it is in the tree world. We don't need names to tell one another apart. But imagine a classroom where every child is named Melvin. Imagine the poor teacher trying to take attendance each morning. It's a good thing trees don't go to school. Of course, there are exceptions to the name rule. Somewhere in Los Angeles, there's a palm tree who insists on being called Karma. But you know how Californians can be. Chapter 3. My friends call me Red, and you can too. But for a long time, people in the neighborhood have called me the Wishtree. There's a reason for this, and it goes way back to when I wasn't much more than a tiny seed with higher aspirations. Long story. Every year, on the first day of May, people come from all over town to adorn me with scraps of paper, tags, bits of fabric, snippets of yarn, and the occasional gym sock. Each offering represents a dream, a desire, a longing. Look at all those different wishes. Whether draped, tossed, or tied with a bow, they're all hopes for something better. Wish trees have a long and honorable history going back centuries. There are many in Ireland where they are usually hawthorns or the occasional ash tree, but you can find wish trees all over the world. For the most part, people are kind when they visit me. They seem to understand that a tight knot might keep me from growing the way I need to grow. They're gentle with my new leaves, careful with my exposed roots. After people write their hopes on a rag or a piece of paper, they tie it onto one of my branches. Usually they whisper the wish aloud. It's traditional to wish on the first day of May, but people stop by throughout the year. Oh my goodness, the things I've heard. I wish for a flying skateboard. I wish for a world without war. I wish for a week without clouds. I wish for the world's biggest candy bar. I wish for an A on my geography test. I wish Miss Gentorini weren't so grumpy in the morning. I wish my gerbil could talk. I wish my dad could get better. I wish I weren't hungry sometimes. I wish I weren't so lonely. I wish I knew what to wish for. So many wishes. Grand and goofy, selfish and sweet. It's an honor, all the hopes bestowed upon my tired old limbs. Although, by the end of May Day, I look like someone dumped a huge basket of trash on top of me. Chapter 4. Well, and I hope that you're thinking about what you would wish if you had a wish tree in your community, and you could go and tie a scrap of paper or an old sock or an old rag to that. Chapter 4. As you've probably noticed, I'm more talkative than most trees. This is new for me. I'm still getting the hang of it. Nonetheless, I've always known how to keep a secret. You have to be discreet when you're a wish tree. People tell trees all kinds of things. They know we'll listen. It's not like we have a choice. Besides, the more you listen, the more you learn. Bonga says I'm a busybody, and I suppose she has a point. She's my best pal, a crow I've known since she was nothing but a pecking beak in a speckled egg. We disagree sometimes, but that is the way of all friends, no matter their species. So that's Bongo, Red's friend. And Bongo's a crow. I've seen many surprising friendships during my life. A pony and a toad. A red-tailed hawk and a white-footed mouse, a lilac bush, and a monarch butterfly. All of them had disagreements from time to time. I think Bongo is too pessimistic for such a young bird. Anybody know what that means? Somebody who's pessimistic is somebody who's usually or often quite negative about the world around them. And then the opposite. Bongo thinks I'm too optimistic for such an old tree. So if a pessimist is someone who looks at the negative in the world around them, then an optimist is somebody who looks at the positive in the world around them. It's true, I'm an optimist. I prefer to take the long view on life. Old as I am, I've seen both good and bad, but I've seen far more good than bad. So, Bongo and I agree to disagree, and that's fine. We're very different, after all. Bongo, for example, thinks the way we trees name ourselves is ridiculous. As is the custom with crows, Bongo chose her name after her first flight. It may not be her only name, however. Crows change names on a whim. Bongo's cousin Gizmo has had 17 names. Sometimes crows adopt human names. I've seen more Joe Crows than I've seen sunny days. Sometimes they name themselves after things that catch their fancy. Pop Top, Jujubee, Dead Rat. They'll name themselves after aerobic maneuvers, Death Spiral or Barrel Roll, or after colors, Aubergine or Beetle Black. Many crows opt for sounds they're fond of making. Crows are excellent mimics. I've met crows named Wind Chime, 18-wheeler, and Grouchy Cab Driver, not to mention a few others that are not appropriate for polite company. Down the street lives an aspiring rock band composed of 4 middle schoolers. They practice in a garage. Their instruments include an accordion, a bass guitar, a tuba, and bongo drums. The band has yet to perform outside of the garage, but Bongo loves to sit on the roof and sway to their music. All right, thanks for watching. I'll be back with chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8 next.